Thank you. We have translation, so I will speak in Spanish. Muchas gracias a Naciones Unidas por invitar.
Thank you very much to the United Nations for inviting the city of Barcelona, and also as the co-president of the network of cities. For us, it is really important to be here today. Thank you so much to my colleagues for sharing their high-level experiences with me. And thank you very much for the invitation to this summit. We were just in the GA Hall, and Secretary General Guterres presented the climate summit as a summit of action. I think this is very relevant. He said, we're not here to make speeches or negotiate. We're here to act. And cities like to act. We are very practical, and more so, we host most of the world's population, and that's why we see many challenges. As the minister from Germany was saying, most emissions come from cities, more than 70%. Therefore, unfortunately, we are the protagonists of the problem, but we especially want to be protagonists of the solutions, and that is why we are working and we are acting. In Barcelona, for example, I'm going to share some concrete actions. I think that's why we were invited here. We've approved an ambitious climate plan, and we haven't just worked at an institutional level. We've been working with social movements and with experts, and it's been a very wide participatory municipal process, and it's been recognized as one of the best municipal plans in Europe. Our proposal is to cut emissions by 45% by 2030 and be a carbon-neutral city by 2050. I'm not going to talk about the details of the plan, but I would like to point out some key elements in terms of mobility, energy rehabilitation, and waste management. Of course, we need to get many cars out of cities. Electric cars are not enough. We need to get rid of our cars, and we need to promote alternatives. Public transportation, for example, riding bicycles. And, of course, we need to take back our streets. They need to be for pedestrians. Streets are for living. We have an initiative that is famous, our super blocks, and we've been recovering these neighborhoods. They're for the community. And streets where we had too many cars are now full of children playing, of green spaces, older people going on walks, and spaces for living, because that is what we want our cities to be. And of course, the energy issue is key, and we depend on state policies or even supranational policies, but we are not going to be satisfied with this. In Barcelona, we have a public energy metropolitan authority. It's the biggest one in all of Spain, and we sell 100% green energy to families, and therefore we have an alternative policy to the oligopoly that was speculating with something that is so basic and so important like energy. And zero waste. Recycling is not enough. We need to drastically reduce waste, and for this we're implementing many actions, and I don't want to speak for too long, so I'll wrap up. Next January in 2020, our climate plan will reach an important point. All of Barcelona will be a low emissions area. We are going to prohibit the circulation of many cars that pollute, and we will decree a climate emergency. We thought it was extremely important that this climate emergency decree wasn't just a piece of paper or rhetoric, but we thought we needed concrete actions to really change things, because otherwise our people won't believe in our public policies, because our people, as Greta explained, are sick and tired of hearing promises and empty words. They want action. They want real action with commitment, and they want a practical impact. And I would like to wrap up with a thought for you. Cities, as the minister said, are part of the problem, but we must be part of the solution. And she also mentioned that we are underfinanced, totally underfinanced. We have almost no normative competency. We have no direct access to funding, and we are there on the front lines to fight this climate emergency. So we really need to think about this. We need to be fast. There's no time to waste, and states need to understand that we are not a minor administration. We are local government, and we want to be allies. We want to help. We want to cooperate, and therefore we need to share that governance at the local level and at the global level to craft strategies that the planet needs right now. We want to be part of the solution, and we want for states to rely on us, not just to invite us on off chances to international summits, but we want to be an everyday partner. We want to access that funding for infrastructure, public transportation, renewables, all of those things that we really need in urban spaces, and we need them urgently. And therefore, we want to work in our network of cities where we have few resources, but we are very practical, and we're used to cooperating instead of competing. We're trying to feminize politics from the ground up. We hope that's sexy, and we hope that becomes trendy at a global level soon. And we invite states to join us in this movement through this international network. And tomorrow, we're actually celebrating the Forum for Local Government. It will be the second time we meet, and for us it's so important to have the second opportunity to meet with states, with the United Nations, to really ramp up Agenda 2030. An agenda, and I will wrap up with this, cannot stop at a single colored pin. We want these colors to represent real concrete actions, and we want citizens to believe in our proposals, and we want the UN to be a true leader. And to lead, you have to earn the trust and credibility of people through action. So taking up Guterres' words and Greta's speech, which I think moved us deeply, because hearing her speak right there, her words and where she was coming from was so powerful. It's an entire generation that is really disappointed and angry because they have to act like adults in front of the actual adults. As Greta was saying, and the movements that she represents, and she represents many movements, it's not enough to just put patches on the system. We have to rethink an economic system that isn't working, and the system needs to change, not the planet. And Barcelona and the network want to be allies to do this as soon as possible. Thank you.